Mr. Cappers.
Here.
Mrs. Sneed.
Here.
Mr. McGarry. Mrs. Mahan. Mr. Wolke.
Here.
Mr. Titterington.
Here.
Mayor.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, we have our minutes from June 12th already disseminated before us. Any additions, corrections, or deletions to those minutes? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We stand accepted. Okay, historic district application for 1 to 3 East Main Street for exterior renovations. The staff have a report.
Yes, we do. The applicant is Christy Shell, who's the president of Troy Community Works, or also known as TCW. And they have come before us with a rehabilitation plan for 1 to 3 East Main Street. This property is known as the Cash Building or the Coleman Allen Saleman Building. The OHI form lists this property as a Victorian Italianate and significant contributor to the historic atmosphere of Central Troy. This building is on the National Register. TCW purchased the property in 2015, and since that time has been working with various entities, including federal and state historic review bodies, in order to rehabilitate the building. As a result of that work for the past 4 years, they are now ready to come before Planning Commission with a proposal for, as you can see in your packet, a very large list of exterior rehabilitation work. The inspiration for the colors for the building comes from the period of 1861 to 1865, when at that time on the 3rd floor of the building it was used by various military groups, one including the group called the Lafayette Blues. The colors that will be used on the building are going around now, and they are listed here in the proposal, along with the colors for the roof are listed in the additional little packet that I gave you. They will match the existing colors of the roof as it is now. Currently the roof is covered, I should say, with slate shingles, and there's a proposal to replace those slate shingles with vinyl slate, I guess. It basically will look exactly the same. They're just changing the material from slate to vinyl. With everything that they have proposed, staff does recommend approval. The plan presented today is the same plan that has received preliminary approval from the State Historic Preservation Office, also known as SHPO. The building is in need of exterior repairs, which will be completed with this plan. Rehabilitation will bring the building back to its true Italianate architectural style.
Where's the elevator going?
I did not bring the mechanicals with me.
Well, I'm just saying, what part of the building is it going to must be in the back?
It'll be in the front,
In the front?
in the north side, facing the square.
North side.
North side, facing
Are you the applicant, ma'am?
Yes.
Well, you want to come forward and answer a few questions? If you don't mind giving us your name and address, please.
Christy Shell, 1205 Hillcrest Drive, Troy, Ohio.
Okay.
And this
This
is,
is Jay Guerin, 2066 Canterbury Court, Troy, Ohio.
and I'm the president, and Jay is one of our board members and also the project manager for the construction. So the elevator is inside. When you look at the pictures, the photos of the glass doorways, on the main floor, the glass doorways to the north end of the building, towards the north end of the building, facing the square. The elevator is just inside that door. So it's in a common space that will be utilized by both retail tenants and by residential tenants on the 2nd and 3rd floor.
Gotcha. Thank you. And were you responsible for preparation of this sheet?
No, Jess Nelson, who is the exterior
That was
designer.
really informative.
And she's wonderful. And she worked very closely with Patrick at the Historic Society to create that history And it's really a critical piece for us to kind of bring meaning back to that building and kind of tell that story and make it something more significant than what it is or what it could be.
Thank you. We'll be available to answer any other questions of any of the other
Yeah,
commission members.
definitely.
Thank you very much. Any questions of staff concerning this issue?
I've had a chance to review this, talk to, and we've had some discussion. I think they've really done due diligence. Historical preservation is very obvious that they want to keep that. And I, for one, would make the motion to approve their request.
Second.
Motion second. Any further discussion? That building has always been white with black trim ever since I've been in town. And I thought, well, gee, if we're going to change the colors to a blue, that's a real leap. And then I find in the materials that at one time it was red.
Yes,
So, yeah,
yes,
boy, that was interesting.
yes. It wasn't white until 1944, I believe, so.
Even the blue is a nice
And
recess.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Mr. Cooper.
isn't it our understanding that you could not repaint it white
Yes,
because that's not historically significant
right,
and would not pass the state's
right.
approval?
The SHPO has designated this date of significance before 1900. And again, it wasn't painted until, well, it was painted, but it was painted different colors until, it wasn't white until 1944. So we're trying to go we must go pre-1900 in order to get the tax credits and the historic preservation approval. So they're preliminarily agreeing to that color scheme, so.
Did we, as a commission, approve the candy store and awning or something here in the past few months?
The window.
The white and red
Yes.
stripes
Yeah. Is that going to impact this at all?
ultimately.
Actually, that, we have a pre-lease agreement with with the candy store to move into the second location. So they're facing the square now, and then we have another retail space that sits just behind that in the same building. And they'll move into that space, larger, better fit for them. And then we will look for other retailers that we are kind of being a little more picky about their presence and how they're going to display themselves on the square. So,
The banner that we approved, though, is that an interior banner?
Yeah, it's just
It's
vinyl.
windows, isn't it?
Vinyl
window
graphic.
Yeah.
Very good. Any other questions? Any other discussion matters?
Just visually get it, you say behind, you mean fronting on Main Street?
it fronts
the-
on Main Street, yes.
Okay.
So where the martial arts studio was
Okay.
is like the most recent,
Right next to it.
Marionette's especially for children. We
Yeah.
used to do
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Well done. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mrs. Snee? Yes. Mr. Wolke?
Yes.
Mr. Titterington?
Yes.
Mayor?
Yes.
Mr. Capper?
Yes.
It is approved.
Okay, next historic district application for 116 West Franklin Street. Staff has a report.
Yes, sir. The applicant is the United Way of Miami County. They're requesting the planning commission to review the proposed installation of a sign in the front yard of the building at 116 West Franklin Street. The OHI form lists this property as a two-story brick residence designed in early Tudor revival with those elements, including slate roof, Tudor-style trim, arch-leaded glass windows on the second floor. This property is zoned OR1, Office Residential District, and is not listed on the National Historic Register. Again, the request is for installation of a new sign. This will be going on the existing post from the previous tenant, which was Partners in Hope, at 116 West Franklin. The sign itself is going to keep the same dimensions as the previous tenants at 28 inches by 30 inches or 12 square feet in size. There is a rendering attached showing the colors of the United Way of Miami County's color schemes. Staff does recommend approving the proposed plan as well.
Any questions of staff?
Move for approval?
Second.
Motion second. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Wolke?
Yes.
Mr. Titterington?
Yes.
Mayor?
Yes.
Mr. Cappers?
Yes.
Mrs. Snee? Yes. Approved.
Next matter is a final plat review for Fox Harbor Section 6. Staff have a report.
Yes, sir. The applicant, Mr. Harlow, who is here, is requesting the Planning Commission for review of Fox Harbor Section 6 final plat. Fox Harbor is located west of Kings Chapel neighborhood and south of West Main Street. This is the 6th section of a multi-phase development. The attached report is a copy of the final plat, which contains a vicinity map also showing the area of development. You did hear about the preliminary approval at the last meeting. This is Section 6, again, encompassing 6.964 acres. There will be 31 building lots on the 5.774 acres of land. This is a change from the previously approved lot from 23 lots to a total of 31. There is no other layout or design changes to this. Again, it's just merely adding in some lots to bring the cost to more of a marketable level in that area. Staff does recommend Planning Commission to provide a positive recommendation to City Council and accept the proposed final plat as it is in general accordance with the approved preliminary plan.
Any questions of staff? Mr. Judge?
Just to reiterate what you said or clarify, we just approved the preliminary. This is the same as the preliminary. Nothing's changed between the preliminary and the final.
Correct.
Okay, and then, so for this part of the process, we're recommending to council and council approves?
Correct.
As opposed to the preliminary, which we approved as planning commission?
That is correct.
Okay.
Any other
Thank you.
questions of staff? Commission want to take any action?
I'm trying to see how to state. I'll make the motion to recommend to council the approval of this final plat. I think I said it.
You did, very well.
Thank you.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Snead seconds. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Titterington?
Yes.
Mayor?
Yes.
Mr. Cappers?
Yes.
Mrs. Snee?
Yes.
And Mr. Wolke?
Yes.
Approved.
Next on the agenda is a vacation petition for part of Arlington Avenue. Staff have a report.
So Troy Christian Schools is requesting a vacation of a portion of Arlington Avenue. At your June 12th meeting, you recommended approval to City Council of their request to rezone 4 parcels into a residential plan development. As part of that, they're requesting a vacation of the bulb portion of Arlington Avenue. They will continue to grant the city an ingress and egress easement, essentially for trash pickup for our trash vehicles to be able to turn around in there. In your packet, you have included the vacation plat map, as well as the petition signed by the abutting property owners, both of which are Troy Christian Schools. Staff supports the vacation of this petition and recommends that that you grant approval and move it on to City Council.
Any questions of staff? Bulb. That's a legal term, right?
Exactly. I'm no lawyer, but
Any questions?
I'll move for approval. I'll move that we recommend that approval to City Council.
Support.
There's motion support for recommending the approval of this vacation to City Council. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mayor?
Yes.
Mr. Cappers?
Yes.
Mrs. Snee?
Yes.
Mr. Wolke?
Yes.
Mr. Titterington?
Yes.
Approved.
Okay. Staff have anything else to come before the commission today?
No, sir. I will point out that there is a reminder on your agenda for next meeting is more of a workshop, so.
Right.
And that's,
We'll still have an agenda if there's matters to come before us, and then after that, we'll have a workshop. And that will be downstairs? Will the meeting be downstairs?
No, we can be up
I believe the
here.
meeting will be up here and then adjourn. and go
Yes.
downstairs.
Okay, and will somebody provide us with whatever codified ordinances state concerning, that might be pertinent to that discussion as well?
Sure.
Out of the zoning
We'll get
code.
you.
Yeah, I don't have those on my wall.
Okay.
We're talking about future items on the agenda.
Right. Well, I'm talking about,
And for that too, yes, yes.
okay,
And certainly get you copies.
thank you. Anything else come before the commission? So I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We stand adjourned. Thank you for your attendance.